Morning, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Cloud9 has got millions of residents this morning after Manchester United, of course, dispatched, destroyed, disapparated Southampton into absolute smithereens. And of course, you know, there's some mitigating circumstances, some injuries to Southampton. The early red card, of course, played its part. But do your research. I read a statistic last night that showed that teams that go down to 10 men on average don't concede more than 1.8 goals from that point. So to score 9 in itself still demonstrates an absolute ruthlessness, maybe missing in recent weeks from Manchester United. So it was an absolutely brilliant performance. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. Something we now need to take forward. It's a statement. You go into the Everton game and you say, listen, we're here. We're not going to be deterred. And maybe, just maybe, you know, we can be in this title race. But the most important element is that we're superseding. And this is something I think Man United fans need to be aware of. Go back and look at all the pundits said at the beginning of the season. The majority of fans, the predictions for where Man United would be. Nobody, absolutely nobody had us winning the league. And at least 60-70% of people said outside the top 4. The fact that we are 9 points clear, I think we're 9 points safe this morning inside the top 4. That's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant to be in that position there. Goal difference is becoming better as well. Another clean sheet. Overall, a brilliant performance. Absolutely on cloud 9. I was really disappointed last night as well to see so many. I watched some of the punditry back from BT. I watched some stuff on Sky. I was listening to Talk Sport as well before I went to sleep. Everyone was quite, I mean, even our show, to be fair, people were quite negative and down in the dumps. We're going to be taking your calls this morning as well, doing some player ratings throughout the course of the show as well. I want you to send me in your player ratings, your top 3 players and what you would rate them for their performance last night. We're going to speak Edinson Cavani as well. That loads of comments coming in this morning as well. Morning to you all. We're going to be talking Edinson Cavani. The reason he was taken off at halftime, he had a knock. There's a knock to his ankle after that horrendous tackle that he was subjected to. That should have been a penalty, by the way. His foot was clearly on the line. You can see it from every single angle. So they took him off as a precaution. There is some swelling. They're hoping that this goes down pretty quickly. Some anti-inflammatories, obviously some rest, some icing, etc. But there is a slight outside fear that he could be missing for the next game or two with this ankle injury. So we'll keep you all posted on that. The actual words from Ollie were, he says he was good, but he got a bad tackle on his ankle. So there was no point taking any risk. Hopefully the swelling won't last too long and won't increase too much. So yes, there is that hope that pulls away. Comment here from Julian says, felt bad for Ralph. That post-match interview, he looks absolutely depleted. Glad we got the amount of goals we did with us now the same as Liverpool. Hope City get a shocker tonight. Well, everybody's going to be hoping for a shocker from City. There's no doubt about it. Even Liverpool, everyone's going to want that. I mean, I see Liverpool beating City this weekend, by the way. I see Liverpool beating City this weekend. So, yeah, I can't wait. Ab here says, show was amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know why it felt flat last. Do you know why I think it felt flat? We had a gal on Keshier. None of the rivals turned up. And I even saw that on socials last night. It was dead. Nobody was out. And it was like, you know what? We just won 9-0. Where are you all? Come on. I don't even mind you throwing some salt. They just weren't here. It was crazy. The victory for Man United last night was so big, so powerful, so potent. We literally tucked our rivals into bed. By the time we went live, every rival of Manchester United had their cocoa, had kissed their mummies goodnight, and was fast asleep. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Baz here says, crazy to think the last time United won 9-0, I was 9 years old. Bruv, yeah, I was 10. And it's crazy to think that we haven't done that since with the teams that we've had. I'm just so glad this Man United team did it. I'm so glad that Ollie's team have carved themselves into Premier League and Man United history and folklore with that victory as well. I really, really do. Champion Liverpool said, good morning, Terry. You're a real G legend. Big up to you in the channel. We're winning the league, though. Champions Liverpool. Listen, and I'm up for the fight. We'll have this fight. It'll be a nice, friendly, semi-friendly rivalry in relation to that. Woke up this morning on cloud nine. Woke up on cloud nine this morning. I bet you did. That mod Lincoln. I bet you did, my bro. Comment here says, no, nothing should happen to Cavani because I don't really trust Martial. He is not consistent. Listen, Martial got his 2 goals last night, though. So let's give him credit for that and see how we move on. Comment here says, Terry, on average, yes, but Southampton conceded 9 last time they went down to 10 men, and 3 of your goals came when they had 9 men. Yeah, but why did they go down to 9 men? You know, when you beat the team and when teams get players sent off, when teams concede goals, when teams give away penalties, that's the pressure. Now, the young lad who got sent off the 78 seconds in, one of the two. That was just youthful exuberance getting the better of him, adrenaline coursing through his veins. It's led to that brain fart moment. But most of the times when players get sent off, it's frustration at how the game's going. Most of the time when people give away penalties, it's desperation because they're being pulled apart. So Man United applied the pressure that led to all those things happening, barring the first red card. But I've seen teams go up against 10 men on multiple occasions, and it'd be very, very difficult to break them down. I'm not going to play it down at all. From my point of view, Man United was sensational last night. There is no doubt about it in my mind. I smell I smell English breakfast and a big pinch of haters. Love to see it. I love that comment. That's a great comment. Comment here says, I don't actually... Hang on. It doesn't actually reflect Man United's performance. Southampton was defending very, very deep. Yeah, and for most of the game, they still had 10 men behind the ball. And that's the point I say to everybody. They still had all their players behind the ball, and we struggled against that in recent times. But we managed to score. And that early goal, I think, really helped us massively. Twisted here says, great United performance. Is this squad ready for the Champions League next season? No, this squad needs more additions, Twisted. There's no doubt about that. Man United know they do. They need more additions to this team and more additions to this squad. We're going to open up the lines in a few moments for you to come on and have your say. Get across to the Discord server. Big shout out to our title sponsors, Manscaped, as well. You can get up to 20% off of their male grooming products by using our promo code TFT. The links are all in the description below as well. They are. Let's do some player ratings. Let's do some player ratings with you. And I want your player ratings, your top 3 player ratings. Keep giving us your comments. We're going to jump between these in between taking calls and the like. So my first player rating I'll go some quick, easy ones. David De Gea, going to get a 7 out of 10. He put in a good performance, but didn't have to really do anything. Good command performance at the back. Lindelof and Maguire, again, I'll give them 7s out of 10. Just 7s. You can't be in a team that's won 9-0 and get any less than that, but they didn't have to do very much because of how good we were. So 7. 7s for me. They're nice, they're quick, they're easy. Those 3 there. De Gea, Lindelof, Maguire, 7s out of 10. Run It Back Sports. How do you call in? Connect to our Discord server. The link's in the description below. And then we're going to share the link in there in a few moments for you to call in via StreamYard. AWB. What we all rate in AWB? I want your comments on this. I want you to put this in now. What are we rating AWB? How are we going to rate him? How are we going to rate the man? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Look at that. 8s, 8.5s, 9s. I like that. Yeah, I'd go with an 8. I'd go with an 8 for him. I think overall his performance was very, very good. I'd give him an 8. How about Luke Shaw? What would we give Luke? Actually, though, I'm probably forgetting man's. No, I got 8.5 for Aaron Wan-Bissaka and 8.5 for Luke Shaw, I think. I think that's sensible. Look at the comments. I love these coming in. There we go. So that's the defense done. 8.5 for both fullbacks, 7s for the centre backs, and 7s for, of course, the Manchester United goalkeeper. I'm going to go and share the link now to call in on the Discord server. What's it done that for? There we go. That's shared. So you guys can go grab that. You can call into the show and have your say. That's there as well. So I'm saying a 10. 2 goal assists, 1 goal, and a clean sheet. 9, not 9 across the board. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to where we are because we're gonna have some other numbers come out soon. Some other players are gonna get their opportunities in a minute, and there's gonna be some real high ones, I think, as well. We're gonna take some calls first and foremost. First, gonna give everybody a minute or so to have their say. First up on the show, Philip Hunt is here with us. Philip, welcome back to the terrace. What you saying, bro?
I just want to say congratulations to that brilliant win last night. That was one of the best things I've seen this season, and proof that how crazy this season is that Liverpool and Manchester United can both suffer big losses. You know, the Villa and Tottenham game, we can both be beaten by bottom tier teams like Sheffield and Burnley, and then we can both score like these crazy games like the Crystal Palace and yesterday. And one thing I got to say, anyone who's trying to take this away from United fans, like saying, "Oh, they were down to 9 men." Wolves were down to 9 men against Arsenal. Arsenal had 9 men. Wolves didn't score anymore, and they had way more time than you guys did. And I remember the commentator at the end, just before Dan James scored the 9th goal, was like, if they score the 9th goal, it would match their record. And the fact that they still kept it going, they didn't let off the hook, and you closed the goal difference. And that was why, up until then, I never really considered you a threat in the title race. But now I do, because I always thought, Liverpool and City had that over you, the goal difference. But now that's gone. You guys caught up. Crazy.
Yeah, listen, what impressed me the most was that relentlessness. So the goal difference is, as you say, has closed its gap a little bit. City are still superior to both of us. On plus 24, we're plus 19, but that 5-goal swing is a lot easier to catch. I think up until last night, Man United's goal difference was only plus 10 at the beginning of last night. It was a million miles away from everybody. The way we've shrunk that is amazing, and I think it does send out a message. Now, of course, everyone's got a game in hand. City have got 2 games in hands over.
I mean,
but one of those games in hand.
I think you guys are like the. Oh, sorry.
Go on, mate.
I think the timing of this for you guys, like, if you play your cards right, like this is a game of chess. Right now, Liverpool and City are still considered, the quote unquote favorites. But if you look at our upcoming game, let's say the expected happens, City and we beat Brighton and Burnley, but then we play each other and let's say we draw, you can go ahead of them, and then let's say City screw up against, let's say, Tottenham or Arsenal, because they've obviously got their Champions League game in between. That could also help you. And also at the end of the month, you guys play them away from home, and since your away form has been so good, you could like really start to scratch out.
I agree. I think it's the only frustrating thing at the moment is the way people are just completely up. That's it. City have won it, and I sort of feel like there might be favourites, but there are going to be trials, tribulations, twists and turns along the way. Philip, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Really do appreciate it, buddy. And we'll speak to you again soon. Next up, Naveen, and then we're going to go to the midfielders. We're going to be player rating the midfielders after this call. Naveen, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say this morning, buddy?
Hi, Terry. Good morning.
Morning. What do you want to say, bro?
Yesterday's game was superb. I was literally shouting like 9 times.
No, I bet you were. I mean, what? Who were your standout players last night, and sort of what impressed you the most about the performance?
I think the standout player was bissaka. I was seeing it coming since the past few games. He's been performing very well, expecting the final third.
Yeah.
So yesterday he actually got a goal and assist as well. So it's actually a good show from Alexandre Jankewitz. Luke Shaw was very good as well. He actually, it's a Shaw redemption, I would say. Shaw redemption. He had 2 beautiful crosses. The second cross was superb, spot on.
Yeah.
Maguire and Lindelof didn't actually had much to do, but Maguire did play as if he was playing in the midfield, left-hand side. He was literally driving us forward. So this kind of game, I think it's a good show of our attacking province. I think we should be playing at the front foot and not always defend. And we have the capability of doing it. Even though with 9 men, they were defending very deep, and we could literally slide them open, and we put in 9 past them.
Yeah, no, listen, I completely agree, mate. First of all, thank you for the call. It definitely showed the quality in Man United's attacking prowess. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. It really, really did. And do you know what's interesting as well? United top goal scorers in the league now on 46. Bruno Fernandes, our top goal scorer, who's got 12 of them, right? So when you look at the top goal scorers, top 10 goal scorers in the league, Bruno Fernandes actually has the lowest percentage of overall team goals. So he has 12 of 46, which is 26% of the team's goals. Now, United need to grow on last night. They need more people scoring goals. I always like a team that's able to spread its goals so thickly amongst its team. So if your top goal scorer's only got a quarter of your goals and the rest is between another 5, 6, 7 players, it's important. There's no doubt about it. We're going to player rate the midfield now. And you can call in, by the way. The link's been shared on our Discord server if you want to come on and have your say. In terms of the midfield, Fred, I'm going to give Fred an 8.5. I thought his drive, I thought his perseverance was very, very good yesterday. Scott McTominay, I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. I thought he did exactly what Fred did, but he got the goal as well that just improves that number a little bit more. Van der Beek coming on, I mean, he was nicely involved. He was nicely involved in terms of what he did. I'm going to give him a 7. Nothing from him really in terms of overt creativity. Didn't create a chance when he came on, but was nicely involved. I think it was really good for him and his psyche. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 in terms of the midfielders. And of course, Bruno Fernandes, he's part of that midfield in that attacking role. A goal, 2 assists last night. The second, both the assists were amazing, by the way. The ball chipped over the top, controlled by Martial and scored, was amazing. The cushion header right at the end, absolutely sublime. So for me, Bruno Fernandes is going to get a 9.5 for his overall performance last night. I thought it was very, very good indeed. Lots of 5 chances created, 2 assists and a goal. Back to his best yesterday. He really, really was. There's no doubt about that. We're going to take some more of your calls. We've got Anthony on the line next. And then we're going to be ranking the forward players and giving them their player ratings. We want yours as well. Bruno 8 by his standards, showing signs of mental fatigue. I completely disagree. Do you know what? He set up a couple of chances in the first half, put some really good balls into the box, and things weren't coming off. And he just persevered. That's what I love about Bruno Fernandes. He doesn't allow himself to quit. He doesn't allow himself to stop trying. And I think that relentlessness was clear to see. It really, really was. Naveen says we had 7 goal scorers yesterday. Yeah, and I love that as well. I absolutely love that as well. No stat padding from anyone yesterday. It was literally so spread across the team. It's unbelievable. Anthony's on the line with us now. Welcome to the Football Terrace. Good morning. What do you want to say?
Morning, Terry. How are you?
I'm very, very well. I'm over the moon, ecstatic.
Yeah,
what do you want to say, buddy?
I mean, I'm Chelsea fan, but I don't see how anybody could throw any salt at Manchester United yesterday because it's 9 goals. I mean, who scores 9 goals? It's incredible. For me, I was because I live in Australia, and it was nice to see 7:30 in the morning a team get thrashed 9-0, which was a good start for me to see as a neutral. Obviously, I'm not happy as a Chelsea fan. However, I mean, to be honest, the mood that United was in yesterday, even without the 2 sending offs, I believe United would have scored over 6 goals yesterday. It was just carnage. I mean, oh Jesus Christ, it was amazing. I watched the highlights again today because I liked the game so much as well. amazing performance. I mean, Cavani coming good, I would say. Bruno does what Bruno always does, and
Yeah.
there is something that I would also like to say about Bruno. I just don't see where all this hate is coming towards Bruno. I just don't understand it. He's an extraordinary player, amazing, but he's
Yeah.
incredible.
I get it from rivals. You're meant to put down, you find a way of putting down your rival's best players. The Man United fans who are continually on Bruno's back, there's certain United fans out there last night that were like basking in the glory of winning 9-0. For me, they looked pathetic celebrating it. They looked pathetic celebrating it because when the team news was announced, they're saying, "Oh, we're going to lose with this team. We're going to draw. It's uninspiring. There's no panache in this." And as I say, but they celebrate Man United as like a fact. They support Man United as a fashion accessory. They're consumers of Manchester United. They're not in love with the football club. So we can just, if I'm being honest, their criticism of Bruno Fernandes is just not worth the paper it's written on because they don't love the football club. So their opinion on the football club matters very little to me because
no, exactly. I completely understand when you say that. It's like the same thing when Lampard got sacked like a couple of weeks ago. I was just sitting down and I was just thinking, right? How lucky are we as Chelsea fans just to have an owner like Roman for an example.
Yeah.
To like let's say tomorrow you get a manager in and somebody comes up to you and say, "Oh, I'm gonna buy you Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Ben Chilwell, Mendy, Thiago Silva."
Yeah.
I mean, who does that?
But that's the whole point. The Chelsea fans turning on Roman. It's weird. It's so weird because I understand Lampard is your legend. I understand. I understand he's one of the greatest players in Chelsea's history.
Oh yeah.
Lampard
Nobody's gonna take that away from me.
Was amplified by what Roman did to the football club. Lampard was already there, but if Roman hadn't have come in, I don't believe Lampard would have scored as many goals and won as many trophies, and he wouldn't even be viewed by Chelsea fans. In fact, Lampard wouldn't have stayed at Chelsea if Chelsea didn't get the ownership they did and become a title-winning team, a Champions League winning team, one of the best teams in the world for the last 20 years. Bigger teams would have come in for Lampard at some point if his goal-scoring levels would have conceded. So without Roman, Lampard wouldn't even be a legend at Chelsea, in my opinion, or he wouldn't be revered and loved in the same way. So the irony of attacking Roman, sacking Lampard because Lampard's this big legend, it's a nonsense. The biggest legend in Chelsea Football Club's history, above John Terry, above Lampard, above Cole, above Drogba, above Di Matteo and Zola and Andre Flo, it's Roman Abramovich. Roman Abramovich is the most important figure and most important person in the history of Chelsea Football Club. Point
100%.
Facts.
100%.
Thank you very much for coming on, having you. I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Next up, we're just going to do the player ratings of the attackers. Real simples. Dan James, 7.5, came on, did well, got his goal. Really happy for him. Greenwood, 8.5, got an assist. Persistent, quality all the game. Rashford, I'm going to give him an 8. Got his goal, come off at half-time, got a good rest, looked really nice, sharp and dangerous in the first half. Cavani, I'm going to give him an 8. An 8. Scored his goal, again, looked dangerous, link-up play was amazing. If it had stayed on, I think he'd have got more goals in that game. He'd have got 8, 9, 10s. Anthony Martial, I'm going to give him a 9. I thought how he came on, persevered, got his goals, just tried. He could have just come on and gone through the motions. It was an easy moment, easy time to come on, but he really worked hard to get his goals. He's going to get a 9 out of 10 for me. Next up on the show, he's back by popular demand. Man like Chucky's here with us. Chucky, good morning, mate. How are you?
Yo, what you saying, man? You good, bro? You good?
Mate, I couldn't be happier this morning in relation to football. To win 9-0, like me and you were babies the last time our club did this. How are you feeling after the victory last night?
Do you know the mad thing is? At half time, I was sitting there because anytime Manchester United go few goals up in any match, that match always comes back into my mind. I was thinking to myself, can we do it? Can we get 9? And I was sitting there thinking, can we get another 5 in the second half? I was thinking, I don't see why not. But then with all the VAR stuff, the referee decisions, I didn't think it was going to happen. But then I remembered who we are. I remember this season, and I remember us in the last 5 minutes. And what I was most happy about yesterday from everybody else was such a driven effort to stay professional, which is a more driven effort than most of the matches I can think of that we've played. It was really, really, really beautiful to watch. It's like they really listened to Ole, and that was so clear to see yesterday, man. But yeah, it's been a long time coming, and also I'm just glad. Yeah, again, another record set. Manchester United now the first team to do the double of the 9-0, innit? Good luck beating that, people.
No, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Well, what do you make of people playing it down? So some, whether it, BT Sport were more focused on how long VAR decisions took, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, yeah, you were ruthless, but you played against 9 men." Do you think this is bitterness from sort of Ollie's doubters?
It's bitterness from Ollie doubters. It's bitterness from Bruno haters. It's bitterness from Manchester United haters. It's bitterness from fans who habitually over the years have been trained by their parents and by society not to like Manchester United because of the level of success we travelled on for so long. But we weren't hearing the same energy when we lost 6-1 to Tottenham. Nobody was saying, "No, but you only had 10 men," which is a state of fact. Nobody wanted to hear that. It's expected. I was going to say it's ridiculous, but it's expected, to be honest. And yeah, again, when I see things like this, it lets me know Manchester United are doing the right things. I mean, we lost our way a little bit as far as where we were to where we are now. But then at the same time, where we are now is what I expected too. So I can't complain too much. But it's just bitterness, and it's to be expected, man. Let's just take it, roll the punches. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you on that, and you are right. It is expected, and Man United fans need to sort of just, as you say, celebrate this. During the game, they were talking about the different stats. Like I think when we went 4-0 up, it was the first time in like 5-6 years that we did. The last time we were 4-0 up at half time was against Leicester when they were champions, and we had Jose as manager. But we only went on to win the game 4-1. We didn't score in the second half, and then they started going through like the last time we won a game by 5 clear goals was in the like you literally had to go back to the Fergie in the Premier League. You had to go back to the Fergie era, and then every goal that went in, it just become this was 15 years ago. This was 20 years ago. This was it just goes. And by the way, Man United have played against 10 men, 9 men, 10 men lots of times since then, and we've played against 9 men on a number of occasions since then, and never have we scored that volume of goals. And I think that for me was the bit where I felt a little bit. I felt a little bit like the punditry on it was a little bit undercooked, where they were more focusing on how will Southampton bounce back, and VAR took too long, and this double jeopardy rule. It's been around for a couple of years now. Suddenly yesterday, because Arsenal lose a player and Man United benefit from it, the world and its dog wants to suddenly change the rule. I'm like, bro, this rule's been around the whole time. Suddenly the rule's bad because we saw it happen. It was ironic. I mean, this is why you love football. 2 games on back to back, you see 2 sending offs in each game, and 2 of the sending offs are for the double jeopardy rule, which is amazing. But overall, it was good. What kind of message do you think this sends out in terms of the title race and top 4 race, mate?
I think the message sent out is more so, man. This might make sense to you. So I'm losing my voice on yesterday. I've celebrated a few times. I think it was about 9 times. I think I was celebrating anyway. The message it sends out is more so to our players. I think it's a case of when you are right up there, don't think you're there. And also, if you kind of slip away, just know you can still catch up back. It's I think it's a message more to the players to follow instructions that Ollie gives, and to trust the staff, because they know 1 or 2 things. And it's yesterday for me, it was we saw the players out there, but I'm just seeing coaching work out there, because I've seen so many football matches where it's so difficult to break down 10 men. I mean, stupidly difficult to break down 10 men. And also, as far as people downplaying it as well, we know we talked about it already, but when I think about it, how many teams in the Premier League history have played 10 men? There's a stat out there, people go find it. How many times have you seen that kind of scoreline? I mean, it's nothing to ignore, but it's a message out there to the players out there, like I said several times already, and also a message to Liverpool out there as well. Don't think because you're getting a little bit of good form, it's all going to be easy. This is going to be interesting stuff. And it won't surprise me. I might be wrong. I'm expecting Manchester City to drop points in the next 3 matches. I really am.
You think?
Well, yeah, I am. Not because they're playing badly. It's just, I don't know. It might sound strange. It's just the rhythm of this league. It's just, I can feel it coming. They're going to drop points. I don't know why. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, you can say, I said so. But I feel like they're going to drop points. It's going to come.
And I hope so. Do you know what? It's one of those things, really. Rivals always want a title race. They're desperate for it. Want a title race, want a title race. But then we've got the potential here is for a 4-horse race. And they're like, well, no. And then it's like, no, actually, I don't. I want City to run away with it. It's like, nah, come on. What do you want? I think for me, for the league, it's a great sign to have 3 or 4 teams going for it. I actually think Man United also have more chance of winning it if Leicester and Liverpool keep pace with City the same as us, because I just feel if it's us versus Liverpool or City going head to head, I think individually they'll have more strength than us. But with these, if they have to look over their shoulder at 3 different teams, I think you can kind of nullify it a little bit. We've got Indiana and we've got Mark here with us. I'm going to go to Indiana first. Good morning, mate. What do you want to say, bro?
Morning. Cavani would be a big miss in this Everton game. He would be a big miss. What he offers is something completely different to anybody else. But on the flip side, like we said last night, coming off of a 9-0 victory, we know we can score goals from anywhere now. And that should be the case against Everton. It's a big game. Ancelotti, great manager. Going to be a tough one. But I expect us to be able to adapt. If we can adapt and win this game, it's a massive statement. Back-to-back wins. It is tough. I'll be honest. It is tough when you come off a victory like that. It is tough to get a good result again. It's not an easy thing to do. But I expect us to get goals.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't. I think the great thing about yesterday's performance, which I think has gone on untouched, really, but especially by the professional pundits and the media, is Pogba was completely rested. Hopefully Cavani's ankle was okay. He came off at halftime. Rashford came off early. Luke Shaw came off early. So we go into that game with 2 or 3 players like fresh that didn't play too many minutes this week. And equally, the players on the field, they weren't having to press too hard. They weren't having to run around like they were in second gear. So we hopefully can go into that game a little more refreshed than Everton. Everton, what did they play yesterday? They played today. Everton played today against Leeds. That's a hard game for them. Win, lose, or draw. They're going to have to work their backsides off for that. We get an extra day's rest because we played yesterday. And it's almost like an extra 2 days rest because of the way the game went. Mark's with us. What do you want to say, Mark?
Yeah. Hey, Terry. Hello, fellas. I wanted to say to all the naysayers who are sort of trying to downplay the performance by United this morning for me here in Australia is how many times have Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, or anyone else scored 9 in a game? Let me tell you, scoring 9 anytime, anywhere, whoever it's against is no small thing. Make no mistake, that was a nuclear bomb that United just dropped this morning, because I can tell you why. It's brought the fear factor back to Old Trafford. The fear that if you go there and you make a mistake, that you can get slapped to that level. You can have 9. You can be humiliated. It was a humiliation. We did run up the score big time. The fact, if you can go to United and have that happen to you now, that's fear. And I guarantee you that, they should all be looking over their shoulders, because the message as well is people, the naysayers, the Ollie outers, all that, they say, no Fernandes, no United. Well, we're not a one-man team. The scoring this morning for me was spread across 7 players. We're the highest scorers in the league now, and Bruno has only a quarter of our goals. So you have to worry about several players. Even McTominay now is getting towards 100 games. You're looking at like Aaron Wan-Bissaka starting to get towards 100 games. And for me, watching the Premier League now for a few decades, like I'm an old man, when those guys get to 100 games, that's when they start becoming ballers. And those boys are really starting to shine. and dominate games and get confidence, especially Aaron Wan-Bissaka. How he got into that box this morning and the threat that he gave the other teams, and he had them on the back foot, beating anyone. Doesn't matter if they've only got 9 players. Doesn't matter who they are. Scoring 9 is a big deal.
Yeah, I agree with you. Scoring 9 is a big deal, and I think that the fear factor is something that Man United have been missing for a long time. And it is. We just now need to galvanize this, and I suppose this is the only. And it isn't a negative; it's more of an encouragement. And this would be my message into the Man United dressing room this morning. Where the doubt remains is that we're capable of these top level performances, but are we able to cement them with the victory coming afterwards? And I'm not just talking beating Everton this weekend. I'm talking beating Everton, and then our following 2 games are West Brom and Newcastle, which, in my humble opinion, they're must wins because we are far superior. We've got superior manager, and we've got a superior squad in every single position. So it's a case of go on, forget to an extent. Let's forget what City and Liverpool do and Leicester do in their next 3 games. You just go and win yours, and then we look at the league. That would be my sort of message. Let's forget anything. Now, I know the players will look, then they'll go home and have a little look and whatever, right? But let's not look at it as a collective. We're not going to sit down and have a meeting as a team and look at the league table. Let's just go and win our next 3 games, because I think if we can win the next 3 matches and we look at the league, we will be well. I think City are going to drop points in the next few games because they've got Tottenham, because they've got Liverpool coming up. We could put ourselves in a very, very, very commanding position indeed. And like I've said for a number of days now, Man United fans, let's have a little party every time we're near the top, because we haven't been there for many years. But let's not forget where our expectations were at the beginning of the season. We would have all, if somebody would have come up to you, however many months ago the Premier League started, and said, look, listen, after 22 games, you'll be 9 points clear of 5th place. You'll be in the top 4 and have a 9-point cushion. Would you take it? I think the answer would be yes. So for me, it's a case of, and this is what I want us to do, is keep looking forward, keep pushing forward. And you know what? Maybe Liverpool and City will have too much for us in the end, and we'll pull away from us slightly, and we'll be like, it's disappointing. But then we'll look back and be like, look at that. We're 15 points safe in the top 4 with 8 games to go, which pretty much guarantees you Champions League football. And it's a great foundation to have a good summer in the market and say, right, now next year we go again. My only hope is the only time I'm going to be massively disappointed from this stage is if we completely collapse. And by 38 games, if we ended up being 20 points behind City and Liverpool, then I'd be a little frustrated, because it would show a lack of staying power to a degree. So we need to be able to do that. But boys, listen, I've got to go. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. Make sure you're all smashing that like button. We're back later today, of course, covering the City game, covering the Liverpool game as well. The title race is heating up massively. Also today, this afternoon, we're going to be previewing Tottenham versus Chelsea. I'm going to be announcing the time for that a little bit later. Probably going to be about 5 o'clock when we go live for that. So I'll let you all know a little bit later on. Until next time, everyone, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless.